WWAY News at 7 starts right now.
This is the place for news that matters. You're watching WWAY News at 7.
Tonight on your News at 7, naloxone. It's about to be even easier to get. WWAY takes a look at what the health department has to say about a free giveaway. How many North Carolina beach towns are on a newly released best of list? The number is surprising and it has some big omissions. Justice Anthony Kennedy makes an announcement about his retirement. What's next for the United States Supreme Court? Thank you for joining us tonight for your News at 7. I'm Randy Aldridge. A drug credited with saving lives is now available to the public for free in New Hanover County. It's our big story at 7. Naloxone, known commonly by the brand name Narcan, is a drug which can help reverse an opioid overdose. It's often carried by police and paramedics, and now anyone in New Hanover County can get it for free. Carla Turner with the New Hanover County Health Department says, considering the opioid epidemic in our area, making naloxone more easily available could save lives.
I had a coworker who said to me, Carla, if that was my child that had overdosed, I would want you to do whatever you could to save their life. And that hit home. That made complete sense to me. Tonight on
WWAY News at 11, find out how much the program costs, where the drug can be picked up, and reaction from others in the community. Investigators say they think they know what started the fire that damaged a Calabash restaurant yesterday. Brunswick County Fire Marshal Andrew Thompson said an investigation by multiple agencies reveals the fire at George's Pancake House was an accident. He says an electrical malfunction in the office may have contributed. The fire damaged the interior of the restaurant and it's left many people in the community sad but hopeful for it to return.
I'm assuming that they would have insurance, having this being long-standing as long as it has been, and that they can rebuild. But it is a sad situation for the employees and for the family, and I just hope that they can rebuild and make it even a better place.
Right now, the restaurant is being cleaned up, and there's no word yet on when it will reopen. And some sad news out of Brunswick County this evening. Former Southport Mayor Norman Holden has died of an apparent suicide. Southport Police Chief Gary Smith says an officer found Norman Holden around 9 this morning in his front yard. Police confirm he did shoot himself. Holden was mayor of Southport on and off for many years, last serving in 2007. Now, WWAY does not normally report on suicides. However, given the prominence of Norman Holden, we felt this warranted an exception. North Carolina lawmakers finished overriding Governor Cooper's veto of the Farm Act today, even after several Republicans joined Democrats in opposing the bill. They argued the law limited the rights of property owners to fight neighboring hog farms. Smithfield Foods was hit recently with a nearly $51 million verdict in Bladen County. However, it was cut to about $3 million because of state limits on punitive damages. This new law all but blocks lawsuits against farms in the future. And last night we told you the story of Pork Chop, the pig who could possibly get the boot from his neighborhood in Carolina Shores. His owner, Linda Dolan, says the town contacted her today after our story aired. They asked her questions about Pork Chop, like when they take him out, how often, and if he does anything else. They also told her they'll discuss if he can live in their town limits at their meeting on July 9th. A sign warning of low tide dangers at the Belleville boat ramp is missing. This is the sign that someone took from the park. It explains the dangers of sinking sand and mud that is exposed at low tide. If you need proof of the potentially sticking situation, this is video from April of a boat that ran aground at the ramp. That boater jumped off and got stuck in the mud, as you can see. Leland Fire had to use their boat to rescue the boater. If you know anything about the missing sign, call Belleville Town Hall or the Sheriff's Office. And a heads up for boaters as a new no-wake zone at Sunset Beach goes into effect Sunday. The North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission announced the zone extends along a 200-yard portion of the intercoastal from west of the Sunset Beach boating access to east of the Sunset Boulevard Bridge. The commission approved the no-wake zone to make the area around the boat ramp and the bridge in the narrow, shallow portion of the intercoastal even safer. New at 7, the Southport Fort Fisher ferry crew that rescued a kiteboarder after he got tangled on a navigation tower is getting honored for their rescue. This is a look at the scene when it happened in April. Officials say the captain of the MV Fort Fisher noticed the man and his gear tangled in the Federal Point rear range beacon. When Captain Barry West saw the kiteboarder struggling, he launched the ferry's lifeboat. Crew members pulled him aboard and took him to the terminal. Today, NCDOT tweeted this photo of the crew getting the Extra Mile Award from the department's secretary. Congratulations. North Carolina's beaches almost always end up on some sort of top 10 list. However, a new list just released has some surprising results. The website Wallet Hub recently released their list of 2018's best beach towns to live in. The entire list included more than 150 locations throughout the United States. However, no North Carolina towns are on it, leaving many shocked and confused.
It can always do different things, so try not to let a survey sway me one way or another, especially when we've got personal experience here on the beach for many, many years that we really love it.
I've seen an increase in the population on the beach every single year, and I don't, people who love the Carolina beaches are going to keep on coming, I think.
While no North Carolina beaches were on the list, our neighbors to the south in South Carolina had a little bit more success. Charleston came in at number 13, North Myrtle Beach at 38, and Myrtle Beach at 57. Okay, kids, this one is for you, and it comes courtesy of none other than Dolly Parton. How to get free books delivered right to your own front door. Plus, it is almost the 4th of July. We've got a look at how to stay safe if you're celebrating with fireworks. Are assaults at North Carolina prisons on the rise? A look at some new alarming numbers. Plus, a North Carolina man found dead with a dog leash wrapped around his neck. What new warrants in the case reveal?
Now, here's meteorologist Justin McKee with your Storm Track 3 forecast.
Well, I'll tell you what. The radar tonight, definitely a sight for sore eyes. The last 3 nights, we've been dealing with showers and storms. Of course, the threats with those storms were different on each of those nights. Sunday and Monday night, we were dealing with some damaging wind gusts, and then last night, it was more of a rain threat, some minor flooding in some places. Not a single speck of rain to be seen on the last 6 hours on satellite and radar. Now, there is a very small chance for rain as we go into tonight. You can see a little bit of activity off to our northwest. It does look like most locations will end up staying dry tonight. We'll have a partly cloudy sky as well. Temperatures slightly warmed up today, upper 80s for many locations for highs today. It's still 89 in Elizabethtown. We're at 82 in Wilmington. You'll start your day tomorrow in the mid 70s, and that's because the dew points are so high. Can't fall past the dew point with those temperatures as you go into the overnight. It's looking like the pool might be the place to be, also the beach, because it is looking like a very hot afternoon as we go into tomorrow. We're going to return to the low to mid 90s for high temperatures for your Thursday. I'll talk a little bit more about your forecast, including a bit of a preview of July 4th in a few minutes. For now, we'll send things back over to Randy.
Thank you, Justin. Newly released search warrants are shedding light on the mysterious death of a Durham father. William Bishop was found dead with a dog leash wrapped around his neck, and now gold, and a lot of it, is giving investigators new clues. Tim Pulliam has the details.
I think my dad is dead.
Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing the 911 call William Bishop's son made after discovering his father lifeless. On the evening of April 18th, the teenager told the operator he found his father slumped in a chair with a dog leash wrapped around his neck, with the dog still attached.
When I got in there, I checked his pulse and his breathing. He wasn't breathing. His heart wasn't beating.
Is there anyone else at the home with you?
No. I don't know if I can go in there again. I don't want to look at him.
Okay, I understand, sir.
Investigators say the boy claimed his father was verbally abusive and he would not be upset if his father did not survive. A few days later, the 59-year-old UNC PhD student and developer died. A preliminary autopsy suggests he was strangled. Right now, Bishop's son is part of the death investigation. Through newly released court documents, detectives are looking for evidence in William Bishop's home safe after discovering a receipt in his office for 25 pieces of gold, valued at $463,000. Earlier this month, a loved one told authorities he kept gold, jewelry, and cash in a safe. Police then went to get a search warrant to try to get inside that safe. Court documents also show police went to Durham Academy, which is where the boy attended school, to search his laptop and emails. Warrants say a forensic team also went through the child's phone and found suspicious activity, like searches on how to calculate the value of an estate, how to transfer bank accounts, and the value of the price of gold per ounce. It's a disturbing detail Bishop's girlfriend, Julie Seal, is reluctant to talk about, instead focusing on how he lived. Seal tells me the couple's whirlwind romance lasted 1 year before its abrupt end. She says, quote, "I continue to be utterly devastated. Nothing makes sense without Bill. He was part of everything. Now everything is in parts. He is simply the greatest man I have ever known, and exactly the type of father I always wanted for my daughter."
Bishop's girlfriend also says they were planning a vacation to Mexico this month. His son hired a new attorney who was not available for comment. New data shows about 4 assaults have taken place in North Carolina prisons each day in the first 5 months of this year. The tally of 227 workers and 349 inmates attacked comes from a report by state prison officials to hone in on the details of inmates attacking employees or other prisoners. The state intensified its focus on prison violence since 4 workers were killed during a failed inmate escape from a Pasquotank prison in October. If the rate of assaults maintains this year, about 567 employees will be attacked. An Apex High School teacher has resigned after a video appeared to show him choking a student. According to a Wake County Schools spokeswoman, Brian Kelly resigned effective June 15th. He was suspended with pay in May when the video surfaced online. Kelly, who was hired in 2004, taught healthful living and coached track. Remember the deadly scene that unfolded at a Charlottesville rally last year? The man accused of plowing into a crowd with his car is now facing federal charges. And a bombshell on the U.S. Supreme Court today. The justice announcing his retirement next month.
Now, here's meteorologist Justin McKee with your Storm Track 3 forecast.
Welcome back. It is a gorgeous evening out in Carolina Beach. This is how things look right now on our New Earth Motors Skyview camera network. You can see plenty of people out on the beach as of 7:15 or so. Definitely enjoy that evening. We're very happy that we're not seeing any showers and storms at this time. There's the smallest chance that we could see a spotty shower as we go into this evening. I think most locations will end up staying dry, and actually right now things are pretty clear across the area, but you can see a little bit more cloud cover starting to move in. Partly cloudy skies are expected overnight. Now, high temperatures making it into the upper 80s in many spots, and we're still reporting the 80s for all of our locations around southeastern North Carolina. Still at 82 degrees in Wilmington, and they're a little bit warmer up in Elizabethtown at 89 degrees. Now, when you factor in dew points in the 70s, we're actually seeing some higher heat index values right now, almost triple digits in Elizabethtown, 89 currently in the port city. Now, we are going to be in the triple digits basically for all of the afternoon on Thursday for the heat index, because actual temperatures are expected to be in the mid-90s. This is kind of what you can expect around 4 o'clock tomorrow with the heat index, so you're definitely going to want to stay cool. We aren't going to be to heat advisory levels, which is usually between 105 and 110 for the heat index, but it's definitely going to be very hot outside. We'll play out this forecast heat index graphic to Friday afternoon, actually looking like a pretty similar case with some triple digits, not quite to those heat advisory levels, but definitely a hot next couple of days. And unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing a break from the 90s again throughout the rest of the 7-day forecast. So the #1 headline is that small chance for a shower as we go into tonight, but we're going to be mainly dry, a mix of sun and clouds for your Thursday. And again, temperatures getting back into the mid-90s for highs. And we do have some small shower chances in the forecast for Friday and Saturday, but it doesn't look like the weather is going to be quite as wet as what we had Monday night and last night. Just about a 30% chance of rain on both of those days. We're just a week away from Independence Day, and we have a little bit of a preview for you. Of course, this forecast could change in the next week or so, but right now, partly sunny sky and a high temperature right around 90 degrees. So obviously, if that forecast pans out, that would be a very good 4th of July for us. Stick with us over the next week, and we'll fine-tune that forecast for you. Here's your pinpoint futurecast as we go into tonight. Again, the smallest chance for a shower, otherwise a partly cloudy sky. Starting the day tomorrow in the mid-70s, and then as we go into tomorrow afternoon, partly sunny skies, and it looks like highs will get up into the mid-90s in a lot of locations. As we go into our Friday, it looks like another mix of sun and clouds, and then a better chance for some rain, about a 30% chance there, and highs again getting into the mid-90s, and then we stay right around 90 degrees as we go into this upcoming weekend. So mid-70s for lows tonight, warm and muggy around southeastern North Carolina with a partly cloudy sky and the smallest chance of a shower, and then we heat up as we go into our Thursday with a partly sunny sky, getting to about 94 degrees for a high in Wilmington. And I have the same for the forecast for Friday with that small rain chance. And then we'll have another slight chance of rain as we go into the first half of the weekend on Saturday, right around 90 with a mostly sunny sky on Sunday. And right now, that July 4th forecast looking pretty good. Randy's all excited about that. I think everybody is. We want some good weather for the holiday, don't we?
I definitely do. I definitely do.
He's very selfish, that Randy.
It is. Everybody knows who watches. I've been around for a long time. It is my birthday. Don't call me Yankee Doodle Randy for nothing.
Well, I hope that the forecast pans out just for your day.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Justin. Well, the man accused of driving a car into a crowd of people in Charlottesville, Virginia last summer is now facing federal hate crime charges. James Alex Fields Jr. was arrested last August. Prosecutors say he drove into a crowd of people, killing a woman and injuring others. Fields already faces state first-degree murder charges and malicious wounding, and the case was set for trial this fall. Now, a federal grand jury has indicted him on 30 counts. Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy, one of the longest-serving justices in history, announced his retirement 1 month shy of his 82nd birthday. Kennedy, a moderate conservative, often cast the powerful swing vote in cases. Now with his retirement, President Trump has the potential to reshape the court for years to come. Angelica Alvarez reports from the Supreme Court.
Justice Anthony Kennedy met with President Trump at the White House before announcing his retirement from the Supreme Court.
He is a man that I've known for a long time and a man that I've respected for a long time. He's been a great justice of the Supreme Court.
Kennedy submitted his decision in a letter expressing profound gratitude for the opportunity to serve on the highest court. Over more than 30 years, he earned a reputation as the swing vote.
I hate that term. It has this visual image of these spatial gyrations. The cases swing, I don't.
Kennedy, a moderate conservative, was seen as a consensus pick when President Ronald Reagan nominated him in 1987.
He's popular with colleagues of all political persuasions.
On the Second Amendment, prisoner rights, and the constitutionality of Obamacare, he sided with the conservatives. On other issues, he sided with the liberals. In 2015, he wrote the majority opinion in the case that legalized same-sex marriage. And last year, he administered the oath to President Trump's first Supreme Court pick, Neil Gorsuch.
Are you ready to take the oath, Justice Wood?
President Trump says he will nominate Kennedy's successor from a list of 25 names already under consideration. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
The Senate Majority Leader says lawmakers will vote on a nominee this fall. Well, the Mouse House is getting ready to spend some very big bucks. The $71 billion deal between Disney and Fox is a go. The Justice Department's Antitrust Division approved Disney's purchase of most of 21st Century Fox's assets today after Disney upped its offer. The purchase is for Fox's movie studio, sports networks, and cable channels. Disney originally offered $52 billion last December. As part of the settlement, Disney will sell off 22 of Fox's regional sports networks. Next week is the 4th of July, and with it, fireworks will fly. We have some tips to make sure you stay safe while you're celebrating. And just how distracting are those infotainment apps and systems in your car? New research on what's keeping us from being safe on the roads. Summer is here, and that means family and friends will gather to celebrate the July 4th holiday. Unfortunately, the fun and fireworks can be dangerous if you aren't careful. Mola Lengi has more on how to stay safe.
Joseph Livingston is an active, healthy 7-year-old boy, but getting back here has been a long road. 2 years ago, Joseph and his family were at a barbecue watching fireworks.
Fireworks were out in the cul-de-sac.
I think this is a pretty good safe distance. I mean, we're a good 60 feet away.
Joseph was hit, suffering 2nd and 3rd degree burns on his backside.
The firework went up his short leg and was in between his underwear and his shorts. It got caught on fire.
Nearly 13,000 people ended up in the ER last year because of fireworks injuries, and 8 people died. Dr. Therese Canaries at Johns Hopkins Hospital says burns are the most common.
Sometimes with flying projectiles, the eyes are vulnerable to injury. In extreme circumstances, I have seen children who have been holding explosives and end up with amputations.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission hopes these demonstrations can prevent more injuries. Even just a sparkler can reach 2,000 degrees, as hot as a blowtorch.
Take precautions, make sure you have a bucket of water there. Make sure that you are watching those fireworks at all times. Don't relight a dud and don't stand over a firework. It could go off in your face.
Joseph spent 4 days in the hospital, needed months of follow-up, and is still receiving treatment.
He still gets very startled at loud noises. Thunder still scares him, but he's come a long way.
Be more careful than you think you have to be even.
His parents hope sharing his story will keep others safe. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Baltimore, Maryland.
Now, even if the injury seems minor, burn specialists say if you or your child gets burned by fireworks, you should immediately seek medical care. There's so much more news and weather coming up next on your news at 7:30, including a national list of best beach towns to live in and its glaring omission. And a familiar face in the local car industry makes a big change after 3 decades in the business.